So the paper came about again as a part of that ESCPP course, which was on data and analysis and understanding. So my partner in that was Dr. Linda Peary. She's now with Georgetown University. We basically had our chief at the time, Chief Sean Barnes, on speakerphone as we ran ideas past him, and he thought, hey, this idea is your best ask or easiest idea to get done in the time that you have, which was because we already had the database. So we took essentially a email that went out every year from our training team that said, hey, here's some icebreaker data points that you can have as conversation points with the new recruits coming out with this class. Helps, our field training officers get to know them easier, helps people just randomly on calls with them to have like, hey, I see you went to the same university as me, that kind of thing. Luckily, it had been done the same way for 20 years and kind of in the same format, unfortunately not Excel format, but it was the same format, same demographics essentially about these folks that we were able to then anonymize and turn into this pretty amazing database with about 500, over 500 people that were anonymously a part, but that we could use as data points for our department to see, hey, are these people still here? What about the ones who are still here is valuable to us? What should we have supported better from these data that we did have? So that was the genesis of this kind of administrative data project, just to see what can we do with this information? Is it valuable? Can we pair it up with other databases at our department, such as when these people were promoted, like I said, but whether they've left or not, obviously retired, that kind of thing. So it's kind of continued to spiral out into more and more. This paper that we're doing right now is kind of the initial swath at just the initial findings, but we're hoping to do much more. Very few papers or researchers had been looking at data that spans such a long period of time, and also was just sitting there waiting to be looked at. So that was kind of the idea. The main thing we ended up focusing on that would be helpful to the department would be to know how long before that return on investment for these recruits, and looking at those, again, all those data points that we had in that database. Did that predict any of the success as we determined by if they stayed with our department to that return on investment? I do think it is very important, especially as we're trying to justify our existence to budgets that are getting stretched as far as they possibly can now. You need to be able to say, this is the money we're putting in, this is how long it takes somebody working for us to get to that point of paying all that money back and serving the public long enough to meet that point, and this is why X% are successful or not successful. Main benefit, as I understand it from after I did my presentation to our upper administration and leadership, the feedback I received from Chief Barnes was that he was able to take the information we had, such as the cost of training people through this program at our department. We have an in-house full academy, so everything is done in-house. He was able to take those numbers, take those insights that we got from the database on, hey, we're actually having 90% of our people stay with the department past this point. That's actually really great, and probably not better than if we had sent them to a tech school that may or may not be cheaper. He was also able to use those numbers when justifying our budget to the city council and our older persons, just saying, hey, yeah, this looks like a big number, but this is what you're getting for it, and this is how fast they return that investment back to the city in the form of working calls on the streets. So we actually had a pretty big range of estimates as to how long that was to return that return on investment, anything from 2 years up, I heard as high as 6 years, from different people who frankly did work in the training department and just didn't know. To find out that it was just a little bit more than 2 years was actually really exciting. I thought that was great. I would have estimated higher just from my experience and seeing how much goes into people at the department's training, and it's the best in the state as far as length of training academy and investment in people. But yeah, I'm really glad we're still able to justify keeping it in-house and keeping it our own flavor of Madison policing and being able to justify those dollars even better now.